up a little closer.
I'm just standing at the end of the red building. Karen was born December 2nd, 1946, to a young soldier and a county clerk. I'm sorry, I told you very Karen had an older brother who was very gifted in music and quite talented. So it comes to no surprise to any of us her artistic abilities. Karen started her love for art in the form of music, playing the piano. Her mother insisted she plays. Some of us have all been forced to play things we didn't want to do. But Karen happened to be very good at playing the piano. As a young adult, she also toll painted. Have you ever seen any of her work? She can paint my house anytime. But my favorite piece of work that she has painted is my dollhouse that stands in my house. Was painted in 1971. Another incredible artistic talent she has is her love to garden. With the good Lord's help, she creates a masterpiece every year in her yard, in the farmyard, in my yard, in Robin's yard. She's in everybody's yard. But even before all of these talents and gifts, Karen loved to make people feel beautiful. She could twirl and twist a piece of hair into a perfect masterpiece. The customer would walk away feeling like $1 million. This started at the ripe young age of age 13. But at age 16, Karen went to beauty school in Sherman, Texas, where she learned to cut hair, permanent waves, hair coloring, pin curls, finger waves, wiglet styling, teasing, and big hair. That must have been in the 80s. No, it wasn't. Teasing, blow drying, and hair sculpting. Once she completed and mastered all of these requirements, the state of Texas gave her a hairdresser's license. In August of 1963, she started her first job right here in Gordonville, Texas, where she worked for a young lady named Joy. After 3 weeks of working with her, Joy handed her the keys and went on vacation. She also left Karen in charge of taking care of all the clients. While she was gone on vacation, Karen decided to step on a nail. And in those days, you had to wear very formal nursing attire and white shoes. And Karen decided to wear flip-flops since she had stepped on a nail. And lo and behold, but the state inspector showed up. Her name is Lucille. You'll have to ask her about the Lucille story later in life. That's not a part of my presentation. But it is funny. So Lucille told her she would have to close down the salon until she was able to wear appropriate footwear. Karen left the salon open and continued to service her customers.
No, what a rebel. What
a rebel. And in those days, they were called thongs, you know. In 1965, Karen graduated from high school, from Sadler High School, in the class of 24. All the young ladies showed up in curlers one morning and all met in the homemaking classroom so Karen could fix their hair for pictures.
I call it S&S.
Yes. Well, it wasn't S&S.
Yes, it says S when I graduated.
Sorry, I lied. Thank you, Mike. In 1966, Karen went to work for two sweet little ladies at Beauty Haven in Sherman, Texas. It wasn't long before Karen found a brand new salon named Beauty Haven, opened and operated by Maud. Karen had great success here. She remembers taking care of a very special needs customer that she loved to make feel beautiful. Karen enjoyed working there. In 1967, Karen went to work for Doyle Massendale at La Seville Salon in Sherman, Texas. Karen worked here until it closed due to the receptionist embezzling money. Karen had her first child. That's me. She also broke her arm and never missed a day of work. In 1969, Karen moved to Amarillo, Texas, and she started working at Western Center Hair Salon inside the mall. She was there for a few short months until she met Kenneth and Dee, who ran La Casa Hair Salon. There, Karen went to work with them, became quickly popular with the customers, and she also became really good friends with Tom and Joy Askew. Customer Bobby Sanders, which I do have her picture if y'all want to see what that lovely lady looked like. She would sit under the dryer every week and balance every month and balance Karen's checkbook for her because Karen didn't love to do math. And also,
S&S for you.
also in 1969, Karen had another child, Charlotte, but not in Amarillo in Texas. So I messed that up. It's messed up in my story. Anyway, in 1971, she returned to Whitesboro, Texas, and she went to work at Cut and Curl, owned and ran by Carolyn Cunningham. In 1973, Yvonne Bilbrey and Karen Walters decided to open La Haça in the Coiffeurs and run a brand new salon there where Karen was the manager. The newspaper article wails of Karen's 10 years of experience with the latest hair sculpting cuts and blow drying skills. Revolutionary super streak, painless frosting, perms and conditioners. The salon ran an ad in the local paper that Christmas that read, "We wish to express sincere thanks to all our fine customers. It's our pleasure to serve," which continues to be her attitude throughout her 50 years career. Her children were also supported, and in the picture, I think the worst public picture I've ever had made of my hair being sculpted. And during this time period, Yvonne also encouraged Karen to participate in the local state convention, hairdressers convention, and they went on trips to learn new skills and new talents. In 1974, Karen went to work at House of Beauty in Whitesboro, Texas, owned and ran by Margaret Young. This salon allowed her to work Monday through Friday and stay home with her beautiful 2 daughters. You know, all of us young parents know how important that is. In 1976, Karen married and moved to Fort Worth, Texas. Scared of the big city and certain she would be able to find a job, having spoke to the local supply rep about different salons in Fort Worth, she looked up Vernon's Hair Salon for an interview. Having heard about this prestigious salon and how great it was, she landed herself an interview with Mr. Barney Raines. She showed up with this portfolio, which I have for y'all to look at, of all the fancy hairstyles she had done and created in her career. The owner, Mr. Barney Raines, interviewed her for over an hour. After the interview, he came out and told the receptionist, I have this from her words, "I believe we have us a live wire here." She started immediately, and after a few months of commuting across town, and I must tell you, across town, they found a home close by with only about 4 blocks from the salon, where she still resides today. Karen is so thankful for her coworkers and her customers and clients that she met there in Vernon. She said she found a real special place and felt like she belonged to many people's lives there in Fort Worth through everyone from Vernon's. Karen spent the majority of her 50 years of dressing hair at Vernon's. After 5 years of working at Vernon's, Karen had 75 standings a week. 75 lovely ladies who came faithfully to her to have her artistically design and make them feel beautiful. Some of her colleagues were Barney, Eddie, Louise, Lisa, Carol, Wandine, Maria, Doris, Mary, Brenda, Big Red, Belle, Ronnie, Nick, Bruce, Olivia, and Scott. You must ask her to tell you some of the silly stories and crazy things they did. They all hold a special place in her heart. Some of them are no longer with us. During her years at Vernon, she was also very active in the local hairdressers organization, and she often took off time to go to Austin, Dallas, wherever there was a convention, to go and learn and stay on the cutting edge of her profession. That was funny, y'all.
Mom, I laughed.
That was funny.
I got it.
In 1981, Karen got a wild hair and decided to move to Colorado with her new hubby, John, and her beautiful children, Robin and Mike. She did take Charlotte and Shelly with her.
Reluctantly.
Here, Karen decided to try her hand at raising 4 wild, crazy teenagers. But
And
after a
they're
few
kicking
short
and
months, she
screaming at
decided
them.
she was done with the superhero mom and went back to work. Karen took a job in local department store in the salon named Jocelyn's. Here, Karen did very few customers or clients. In fact, she found herself to be bored. There would be weeks where she would only see 10 clients. Often, she would reminisce and miss the times at Fort Worth. Thank you. Despite the many visits from friends and family, the Hudgeons clan quickly became homesick for Texas. The snow was beautiful, there just was a whole lot of it. In 1982, Karen picked up the phone one Saturday morning and called Barney Raines and asked, "Do you think I could come back to Vernon's and work?" And Barney's reply was, "Can you be here Tuesday?" It was settled. Karen and family returned to Texas in March 1982 to the same house where she had been and continues to reside. In 1998, Vernon's closed their doors. Salvador's opened and welcomed Karen and her colleagues Maria, Wandine, and Doris with open arms, moving just a few blocks down the street. Hey, baby. Just a few blocks down the street. It made it very convenient for her customers to continue and follow her. Some of Karen's clients had aged, but still extremely busy. Karen continues to dress hair, making each of her customers feel like $1,000,000. Looking back over the 50 years, Karen has worked at 12 salons. She has worked 38 years in Beverly. She has been married for 33 years. She successfully raised 4 teenagers. And who knows how many lovely ladies have sat in her chair? How many children have had their first haircut? How many have had the privilege for her to artistically design? And how many have sat down and said, oh, just do what you want. You know what you want to do. However many it is, it's sure to say that whoever sits in her chair leaves her chair with a smile.
Here, here.